Spiritual business coaches, there are just hundreds and hundreds of people right now actively looking for exactly what you do. Trust me, the world is in a crisis. It needs your spiritual work, your spiritual gifts. But if you cannot explain your offer in one simple sentence, you have very likely just built a long list of skills that you are absolutely very, very good at, but you haven't structured them into a transformation that your dream clients actually understand, so they know this is what I need and this is what I want to buy, and you are exactly who I want to work with. And this is exactly what I'm going to show you how to fix in this video. I'm Kathy Gifford. I help spiritual business owners build their signature offers inside of my academy. This is where we bring strategy and identity together, because your business does not just grow from your strategy alone, ever. Always grows from how you see yourself, how you interpret all of your life experiences, and how you naturally help people shift from one place to the other. So bringing together identity, self-concept, and practical strategy turns what you already have into something structured, clear, and sellable. From working with so many spiritual business owners, the pattern that I always see over and over again is you are so incredibly gifted. You have real skills, real deep experience, and you've had so many of your own transformations and seen so many client transformations, and you are literally helping people every single day. But you're not recognizing that what you are doing already is actually an offer. Because in your mind, an offer probably has to be something more formal, probably feels like it should be more complex, something much more structured, something that feels like it's been built from scratch. So instead of trusting exactly what you already have, you probably find yourself thinking things like, I don't even know what an actual offer is. I don't know what my offer actually is going to be. I need more qualifications to fill the offer. I don't have enough to give to sell. What am I going to put in my offer? I don't know how to package what I do. And this leads us back round to just what actually is even an offer. And the real issue, it's never been your ability. It's that you are always looking at everything you do as a separate list of skills, instead of recognizing the transformation that is already there. From working on offers with so many spiritual business owners and coaches, most people tend to think that an offer is a collection of their modalities, their techniques, their certifications, their tools, their methods. So they start trying to build the offer like a toolbox. And then the belief starts to come, I need to add more things to my toolbox so that I have enough things that will eventually become my offer, something valuable enough to start to sell. But this is where it can start to break down, because your offer will start to feel confusing, hard to explain, unclear in the messaging, difficult to sell, overwhelming for people to understand. And that completely makes sense, because you can't explain it yourself in one sentence yet. And the reason for this is because you're trying to sell the toolbox instead of the transformation. And people, unfortunately, they never just buy our tools. As fascinating and amazing as we know they are, people buy the change. They buy the version of themselves they become after they work with you. And this is also why your content might feel hard to explain sometimes, because when your brain is in your tool mode, everything just becomes separate. So I do Reiki, I do belief coding, I do coaching, I do mindset work, I do energy work, I do manifestation. But your audience, they cannot mentally connect the dots. They can't see the pathway of how this is leading to the clear outcome that you can actually bring them. And when there is no clarity, there is no buying decision. People don't buy complexity, they buy clarity. We don't want to leave people feeling undecided, confused, too much information. So let's simplify this. An offer is a structured transformation, but what does it actually mean? So it's the journey that someone goes through from where they are now to where they want to be. So from point A to point Z. Now, your skills, your modalities, your knowledge, your experience, these are the supporting tools that guide the transformation from A to Z, but they are not the transformation itself. So instead of asking, what should I put into my offer? The real question needs to become, what transformation am I naturally helping people create when I work with them? So let's take a spiritual identity coach. They come to me and say, I don't really understand what an offer is. Currently, I work one-to-one when I can find clients. Now, I've trained in Reiki, I do belief coding, I do energy work, and I do mindset work. I've got other spiritual tools like breath work, but I'm still stuck in selling these one-to-one sessions. I don't even know my mind can't even comprehend how I can make this into an offer that's worth something like 1, 2, 3K. It's because when I go to look at my offer, I start thinking I need to add in loads more things to make it valuable, to deepen my knowledge even more. So in that moment, you are experiencing lots of confusion because you're looking at everything you've learned as just separate pieces of a giant puzzle. So you're putting separate tools all into one toolbox and trying to organize it into something that makes sense. And this is making you feel like there's not enough things in the toolbox and assuming something's missing. So this then leads you into the cycle of I need more training, more tools, more depth, more clarity. But trust me, it has never been about that. It's always been about the information you already have. It's about recognizing this because if you zoomed out, you already have everything you need. I'm a personal experience of I'm a good example of that because when I started coaching, I trained in belief coding and then I went on to do advanced belief coding and I didn't have all of these other modalities that I heard people talking about breath work and Reiki and so many other things, EFT tapping. There was multiple things I was always hearing people say they had, but I made the decision in the moment. I'm going to become an expert in the two things I've learned, and I'm going to create my high ticket package now. Because what happens is when the toolbox just keeps on growing and growing, you just haven't seen how what you already have in there translates into the transformation for someone else. So instead of seeing our work as separate modalities and tools, you need to start seeing one thing. How are you moving somebody from point A to point Z? Because the tools, they are the middle section. They're not the main thing that we need to be talking about, because one person may need 20 tools to get from A to Z, another person may only need 5, but the transformation they get is probably still even the same outcome. This is where they are now, and this is where you're helping them get to. And that shift is what helps you to finally see what your actual offer is. You already have it. You don't need to go training in hundreds of more things. You need to realize that your life experience and the other things, the small little things that you tell people, that you show them, that you help them with from your life experience, from your own transformations, this is what we need to pull out of you. And throughout this entire series, we are going to be showing you how everything that you already need is inside of you. So you definitely do not need to wait until you feel ready, because you're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel ready enough before you bring in these dream clients, because you're always going to feel like you need more tools into that toolbox. You're always going to feel like it's that next qualification, more skills, more things before you begin selling your signature high ticket offers. But most of the time, the only thing that has ever been stopping you is simply the lack of clarity around the transformation that you're already creating. You've created it for yourself and you're creating it naturally for your clients. So the biggest thing to take away from part 1 of this series is your offer is not your bunch of modalities. Your offer is the transformation people experience from working with you. It's how you take somebody from A to Z. So the homework is to start seeing the transformation already happening within yourself and around you. So go back through old conversation, testimonials, client messages, comments, questions people ask you, and start looking for the transformation. Train your brain to see the transformation, not the toolbox. And of course, one of the very best places to start is with yourself, because the transformation you have personally been through to get from A to Z where you are now. And remember, you don't have to be at the very point in Z that you really want to be, like a millionaire, for instance. You only have to be a little bit ahead of the person that you're trying to help. So when you got yourself from A to the Z where you are now, you will have gone through some of the modalities and the tools and the gifts that you have. Maybe when you trained in them, or maybe when somebody did them on you. Now, if you was to write down your experience of all the micro things that happened to you to get you from A to Z, you wouldn't start writing down the name of the modality. You wouldn't say, like, oh, I did Reiki here, and then I did an EFT, and then I did a belief coding, and then I did a hypnotherapy. You wouldn't explain the journey like that. You would write down all the mini changes that you've been through. So, for instance, like when I think about my journey of imposter syndrome, what did I go through? First of all, I realized that not everybody has a voice on their shoulder that's talking to them. That was one of the first, like, mind-blowing light bulb moments for me. Then I realized that then I started learning about my RAS, my reticular activating system. Then I started understanding a bit more of what imposter syndrome was and the different types. Then I started learning about inner child and subconscious programming and patterns and stories. And so, yes, when I was doing some of them sections, I probably was learning some breath work, some stress reducing activities, some anxiety activities, different ways to manage anxiety. I was doing belief coding, hypnotherapy, EFT tapping. I was doing them things through this journey, but it's not the story I would talk about. Your offer's already there. You just need to start speaking about it as a story, as an offer, as your transformation. And just remember, in your offer is your frequency, your codes, plus the modalities that you've trained in and the skills you have. This will help you to start seeing how much more you can offer people, how much deeper you go than just the tools in the toolbox. So whilst you're thinking about your own journey, your own transformation, and you're looking through all of those old conversations and testimonials, and if you can't remember them or you don't have testimonials, just reach out to people and ask them, or just really go deep with your journal onto what journey have you personally gone through. So where were you at point A, and how would you explain all the micro steps that got you to point Z? Start writing these steps down. And what you'll notice is that you won't be writing down the name of the modalities. The modalities will sit underneath the milestones, the results, how you felt emotionally. So you'll write things like, first I learned about the subconscious mind, then I learned about my past stories, then I learned about the negative thoughts that keep coming up for me, then I learned about the stress that I'm carrying in my body, then I learned why my neck's hurting me and my shoulder's painful. You will just naturally start telling the story that led to the transformation. So practice this until you can say it without mentioning the tools in the toolbox. We will know what tools sit underneath each part of the micro journey from A to Z, but we don't need to be explaining that in our content, in our sales calls, in our offers. Tools in our toolbox, in our echo chamber, they are amazing for us, but they are not the main thing for other people. So start to look for the transformation that's already there, what you've experienced, what your clients have experienced, and remember, not just the modalities, the transformation, the mini milestones. In the next video, this is where we're going to start going deeper into assumptions. Now, they're the assumptions that you're probably holding about yourself, your work, and what people will pay for this type of work and pay for the transformation you offer, because it can stop you recognizing your own value. But it's really super important that first you physically write down on the paper, because the people coming into your world, they are always going to reflect back the assumptions that you hold about you, about your work, about your transformation, about your worth. And this is the exact work that we do inside my challenges and inside my academy, to extract those natural gifts, your knowledge, your life experience, your skills, and turn them into an amazing signature offer that people, your dream people, deeply understand and emotionally connect to, an offer that makes people want to buy from you because they can feel that you're on their frequency and you're the person they actually want to work with, because your offer has always already existed. It's in yourself, your codes, your frequency, your transformation. The goal is learning how to structure it and communicate it clearly. So, of course, if you're ready for this right now, take a look down below. And if not, I'll see you in the next video when I'm going to walk you through the next step of the process, step by step.